Welcome to this episode of my Women Empowerment Wednesday show. My name is Jessica DSB. Enjoy this episode.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Women Empowerment Wednesday Facebook Live weekly. My name is Jessica. I am a proud single mom of a beautiful 7-year-old daughter, and I am a coach as well as a #1 best-selling author. I'm also running a global online business. Super excited to be with all of you today. Just a reminder what this Women Empowerment Wednesday movement's been up to. So since April, we've been doing Facebook Lives every week, having conversations that are empowering, touching, inspiring. And I have a guest every single week that we cover different conversations, different topics. And I'm super, super excited about our guest that we have today because it's my first man on the show. Oh my God. And I could not be more honored to have this man on my show. So Mr. Byron Nelson, for those that do not know him, you have to get to know him. Follow him, Facebook, Instagram, follow him, get to know him. This Mr. Nelson's a founder of the Matrix Group. He's a world-renowned wealth coach. He's a business advisor. And he's a highly sought after inspirational speaker. What an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show today, Mr. Nelson. Are you there?
I am here. Hold on. Let me get my picture up and going.
We want to see your face, you know?
I want to see my face. I think I want to see my face. It depends. On the day of
I do anyways.
Okay.
Hi. Thank you for being with us today.
It's my honor.
And I know you have so much to say when it comes to women empowerment. And you know what I was thinking? I didn't share this with you today. We actually met at a women empowerment conference.
Yes, we did.
Oh my God. That's absolutely amazing. So let me hear from you a little bit. For those that do not know you, let's have you share a little bit about yourself.
I'm a quiet person.
Please, let's stay authentic here.
How I got, what can I tell you about me? I went to an HBC. I went to Morehouse. I grew up in California. I was born in Chicago. I've always been an entrepreneur. So always been an entrepreneur that led me down a path of success. Success led me to a path of wealth. Wealth led me to a path of truly being empowered, which means you have to grow yourself before you can grow your wealth, so that all of it strings along and connects itself together. And so a lot of people say, I want to make a lot of money, or I want to be able to do this, that, or the other, not taking into account. Hopefully you guys can hear me clearly. I'll move my mic over a little bit. As you get to, there's a distinction between a wish list and a dream. And a dream is something that wakes you up early in the morning and puts you to bed late at night. And so in that dream of wanting to be able to change the landscape of your life, it always goes back to the original embryo, which is yourself. And, to be able to do anything, you're constantly in turmoil with, what do I have to give up? What do I have to, if I want a body that I want, what do I have to give up in order to do that? If I want a spiritual life, what do I have to give up in order to be aligned with God or my faith or whatever the belief may be? So it always comes down to, the habits we've created and the journey we've taken in order to be able to start cutting the fat off in order to get to the core of who we need to be in order to become who we need to become. And so that journey just kept leading me back to myself, and that led me into, Speakers Academy, learning how to become an orator, learning how to be a speaker, now an author. And right now I'm deep in the trenches of my book, which is, finish what you start, and that that goes into a program that I created called The Journey, which was scaling back all the layers of the onion to get back to all of the, I call it the points of pain that forced us to either resist or persist in certain areas of our life in order to redesign our lives so that we can get to a new outcome. So, yeah.
I'm so honored to have you today because I can just literally hear you talk, just continue. I don't need to say anything. I just want to hear you.
Thank you.
So my first question to you is, you are my first man on my show. And why did you, well, I know you love me. That's why you said yes to be on the show. But why did you, or why is it important for you to be in those women empowerment conversations?
Besides the fact that I love women.
Love it.
You went authentic, right? So,
yes.
So the authentics, I mean, we do the things that we're drawn to in discovery, right? And so it obviously starts at home. It started with the discovery of my mom, my grandmother, really the backbone to everything. And a lot of people, when it came down to business and understanding the statistics of business, many don't understand that 80% of all businesses owned on the planet today are by women. The rise of women, the women's rights, which came after the civil rights, and all the things that started to prevail, really came down to understanding what was your market. When you look at any business, the first thing you should look at is your demographic. Well, I sell business. I sell business ideas, concepts, marketing, and being able to control your life. And to do that, it really was astonishing to me to find out, then you also look at the disparaging ratios financially in the entertainment industry, how much more men make than women, in business, how much hell women have to go through in the business workplace as far as, being taken advantage of in so many different ways. And so it just really became an appeal to me. I've always been a person of injustice. So beyond just the conversation of women empowerment, obviously, with all the racial tension that's going on right now, I'm dealing with a lot of that in regards to, the black and white issue, but it's not really a black and white issue. It's really a human issue, and that's a whole nother conversation. So the things that deal with injustice, human trafficking is huge to me. Oppressed societies and tyranny in certain marketplaces, the things that have happened from the Middle East all the way back to Asia Pacific, all the way through South America, and now moving into a burning building, which happens to be in the United States, which also, has taken its place all the way up through North America and all the way up through Canada. You can see it in all of the government and all the different political polls and everything that's going on. You look at someone like, if you will, when you look at Clinton and why she missed, I'll say the first lady Clinton, why she didn't get voted in had nothing to do. So now we're dealing with suppression and oppression again. It wasn't that she got voted out of office. It's or that she didn't win. They voted her out because they didn't want any more of the old regime, what Bill Clinton brought to the table. So Hillary Clinton coming into play, it was understanding the rise of the millennials, which is actually a good book. I need to write that down. The Rise of the Millennials. That's a really good topic. So, but the millennials, when you look at it, and actually I was looking at a documentary on Bill Gates and what they're doing from a biohacking perspective, as well as the nano and technology and all that's coming along with that. And the narrative that they want the masses to buy into is that everything with the vaccination and everything with the medical world, and as it is playing out, is to actually heal and birth healthy children, and that will give us a stronger population. And it's really twisted to believe that by having healthy, not that I don't want healthy children, not that I don't want a healthy population and for us to have healthier people born into this world, but it's just a backwards thought process that the healthier more people are, the more people are going to stop having babies. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But they want the sheep to be able to buy into that narrative so that they can utilize that technology to do more mind control and people control, which is a deeper conversation. Back to the subject at hand in regards to dealing with women in itself. what really drew me to that was the affinity of understanding when you're looking for business partners, or when you're looking for people to partner with or people to collaborate with in business, you're looking for the people that have an unstoppable mentality and an insatiable appetite to persist where resistance is in play. And women just happen to be that person, having been oppressed all the way back from the 60s, in the 50s, to wanting to be able to have equal rights. And obviously that's played a part in homosexuality as well, as far as, sexuality, period. I don't want to just say homosexual. They got 121 different sexualities today: transsexual, demisexual, trisexual. Just try it, right? But whatever it is, all that being said, but now they want their rights, right? So everybody wants rights, but the women have been rights second only to in North American hemisphere. But it has played its part starting way before, what has happened here in the United States and in Canada. It started over in Europe first, and every other country as far as that's concerned, where women have always been second tier, barefoot and pregnant in a kitchen, do what I say, drag them by the head, pull them in, stone man, go back to cavemen. And in that, knowing that the balance of the universe does not happen without man or woman. So women have had the longest fight as a whole, and a gender specifically, to want to be able to be considered equal. And you can't stop that, at this point in time. It still comes down to the same solutions, which is communication, economics, and collaboration. And so what I have found is sticking in, I really want to stay within the vein of which we're speaking. What I found with the majority of women is that because they have intentionally been broken over time in some capacity, just like if you look at, I really love the topic of relationship seminars when it comes to empowering women, because so many women have been emotionally raped. And I don't like to utilize the right, I had to learn this a long time ago, being in front of a room, to be very careful about my language. My father was one of the first ones to be able to share with me. He said, I was talking about Jim Jones, which is a very well-renowned story of a man who got a whole bunch of people to drink some poison Kool-Aid in the name of God. And I would usually, when I had opportunities, real estate, networking, whatever I was doing, I would say, if Jim Jones could get 30, 40 people to drink some poison Kool-Aid, can you find 3 people, 4 people who want to change their life? And I was cautioned to the wind, and a couple of my leaders and my father was like, be careful of what you're saying. You don't know who's in the audience. And it just happened that I had somebody who was a direct husband or wife, I can't remember, to one of the descendants that was in that camp that died. And that was a wake-up call. And my second wake-up call in understanding the power of language and communication, hence the word communication stands for communing a nation. When I was speaking of rape, and I'd say, the one thing I'm going to do is rape you. And you may have heard me say it in a different term because you came after that knowledge base was made available to me. But I used to say, what I'm going to rape you of is the opportunity of being able to say that you can never tell someone you didn't have an opportunity to change your life and change your family tree. And I would use that word rape. But there's so many women, I believe, don't quote me on the statistic, but I believe there's over 70% of women that have been raped, that were raped. Not 70% of all women have been raped, but 70% of the women that have been raped, that do it in quiet desperation and never speak out on it because of how disabling it is, how embarrassing it is, how the lack of understanding or belief for people that truly, will listen to them, or, and when you look at relationships in regards to the cheating, like in California alone, over 80-90% of people are going through divorce. Now, there's a myriad of reasons between why that fact exists, but a lot of it stems from roots that go way beyond the marriage. And so when there's certain women who don't want to be touched, or, the man takes it personally, like, but what the hell is wrong with you? It's like not understanding what she may have been through in regards to being raped or being touched, and so why I brought up relationships specifically is because I do know that over 80% of people that cheat in relationships, it usually comes from, over 80% is from someone who's close to them, meaning you're best friends with Sarah, and Sarah will go and actually talk about, well, let's say I'm dating Sarah, or better state, I'm dating Jessica, and Sarah's a best friend. Let me just use Sarah's. Well, you're going back talking about how great Sarah is and how beautiful Sarah is. And forgive all these chimes. I need to turn this down some. I don't even know how to turn this off.
No worries. I'm just going to say hi to everybody that's watching.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Gordon. Hi, Tanya, my guest from last week. Hi, Jen, Peter, Julian, Gabrielle, Stacy, Jean-Sebastien, Aurelia. Oh my God, I have 29 people watching. That's amazing. Lydia, my stepmom. Hi, stepmom. Bunch of colleagues from Air Canada. Love you guys. Miss you. Dan, Alicia in the house. Nick as well. Hello, everybody that's watching. Keep commenting and let us know what you think about this conversation. I'm so happy you guys are watching and joining us.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish and continue.
Yeah. It's okay. No, please. I love acknowledgement. That's one of the biggest things when it comes to females and when it comes to things going on specifically. But in that conversation, what happens is if you have two people that are dating, you know, generally, if Jessica's really excited about the conversation and about the emotions and the livelihood of the nuance of the relationship, she goes, and women collaborate in conversation all the time. You guys are the only creatures that actually go to the bathroom together. You know, you share everything, even if it's not authentic shares, you want to share amongst each other, right? Girls' night out, you know, it's like, I don't even think boys' night or men's night out was created till women started having girls' night out.
You just had a women's weekend, a girls' weekend. Not
exactly,
a night,
right?
a weekend.
Exactly. And so in that, what happens is Jessica is screaming about how this new relationship and the beauty of all this is going on. And the other women are caught up because women speak, they live with their heart. So they're caught up in this romance. And they're like, oh my God. And he brought you flowers and he took you out and he opened the door and he cooked food for you and he washed the dishes and he did this and he did that. And it even gets into the sexual and he's this and oh my God. And this is, but what the people don't realize is that the audience is listening really enrolled. So now they have a love affair with your man that you don't know they're having subconsciously. So as soon as something erupts that goes wrong, you're looking for comfort, but you don't go back to those women. You hold it in and suppress it. The man is upset. He's looking for comfort. He wants to talk to somebody. So who is he looking to? Somebody who knows you. So he's talking to one of your girlfriends because he's got to know them over time. Now, all of a sudden, this thing happens, this cheating happens, and you're like, how the hell could you do that? Well, you done already sold him to her. Wow. So all of these different things and dynamics actually take place when a person doesn't understand. You only talk to people about your dreams and people who can help you build them. And you only talk to people about your problems and people who can help you fix them. But in this dynamic comes so many broken relationships. Hence, you know, every man wants to say women are crazy. I'm one of them. Women are crazy. But what they leave out is that there was a man that made her crazy.
Yes.
She's like, oh, hold on. We're in church now. We're in church now, girl.
That's it. I want to ask you, as a man that, you know, supports women empowerment or has these conversations, what do you want to say to other men that are watching or that might be rewatching?
No. But the thing in the journey that I'm on right now is probably one of the most important, I'm not gonna say one, it is the most important journey for myself. And biblically it says, be true to thyself. And, you know, having a son, having this conversation, I'm having conversations with him. I'm writing a book actually over the next 12 months in and around all the rest of the projects I have called The Teachings My Father Taught Me to Be a Man and a Leader. And I was having this conversation with a gentleman by the name of Jeremy, a good friend of mine, as well as James, two men that didn't have a father in the house. And the book is written not just for young men that don't have a father, but for men that have a father, because I am a father that's present in my son's life, but there's so many things that are missed. And I really want to be able to create a memorandum for the things that are not talked about when you're growing up and as you become a man. One, knowing God. Number two, hygiene, so important. Number three, knowing how to floss. You know, I realized at 19, my son didn't know how to shave. I mean, I just assumed he knew how to shave. I'm looking at him like, what the hell is all that? Like, I don't know how to shave. But you don't know how to shave. Just get over here. So, you know, things that, you know, I mean, I'm just going to be very, very transparent. I mean, yes, things like, I mean, it's little things, right? That you don't want to embarrass yourself until you get to a woman who takes the pride in caring about a man. You know, men are just very trifling, you know, skip marks in your underwear. It's like, come on, wipe your ass, you know? And there's grown men, you know, I mean, these are just real things that are ongoing that we just don't take as much time and pride in ourselves, self-care, manicuring, taking care of your nails, being able to do the things that, you know, just each lesson that goes through, being able to take care of your credit, financial literacy, but in a level of just really just the basics of taking care of that treat your credit higher than everything just short of God. You know, to be able to just know that you have leverage, knowing how to work the system. So all these things come into play. Answering that question, I shared that because it all plays a part into what would be the most important message that I would carry out to men today. I spent, I don't like to tell my age, as you know, because I am the Black Benjamin Buttons, and I like to be able to pull from 18 to 80. But in that conversation lives, I've been on this planet, I'm on my fourth life. And in the first half of my life, what really happened is I spent most of my life developing my charisma. You have commercials out. I am the most interesting man in the world, and he's holding a can of beer, right? All these things, just like with women, you have all the things, so many sheeple out there, so many sheeple where, you know, so many women where it became an epidemic or a problem. I don't even like using that word because of the pandemic, but it became a challenge based on self-profiling where so many young girls were having anorexia because they thought they had to be skinny and they had to be like the girl in the, and, you know, it's like, I'm just not going to eat. And they start bulimic and they start putting fingers in all this stuff, this profiling by the messages that are sent out by the media is so tragic, especially since if you go back less than 15 years, you at least had a fighting chance. And what I mean by that is if you went back to 2000, right, or before, life gave you a fighting chance to make mistakes, and then your mother or your father or whoever your superiors were catch it and correct it and realign it. Today, you aren't given that opportunity because if I'm a child today and I go and I grab, and Jessica's in, I'm just going to use you, I don't want to use nobody else. And Jessica's in school and we're kids, we're in 7th grade. And I come and, you know, we're playing tag or we're, you know, you're a tomboy and I grab your breast or I grab your ass or whatever it is, you know, and now all of a sudden, I don't get to the chance to go to the principal. I don't get a chance to talk to the teacher. I don't get a chance for my parents to come and tell me in 4th, 5th grade, 3rd grade, or 7th grade, I shouldn't be doing that. Somebody caught it on camera. Now it's gone viral. Now it follows me for the rest of my life. If I steal something, if I do anything that is just not cool, it's caught on camera and it's going to follow me for the rest of my life. I don't get a chance for it to be a lesson. It's now a curse that I'm plagued, I'm tattooed with for the rest of my life. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So today is a very scary time. There's a lot of blessings that come with technology and a lot of blessings that come with the new age of all that we, you know, the FaceTime and the WhatsApps and all that. But it's also a very scary time because our children are now, we have to be even 10 times more cautious. So if parenting isn't in the full effect, we have a problem if they are not taught, I mean, from day one, and we're on top of it. And because there's so many fractured families and so many single homes, you know, and so much depression. We have children living in anxiety and depression before we even know it. We just think that's their state. We think they're just quiet, not knowing they're living in a silent storm till sometimes it's too late. Now we got to give them some kind of pills or get them on some kind of anxiety pills here and this and the other. But back to the conversation about men and that message, what I did is I spent a lot of years becoming charismatic. And I like to think I'm one of the best in the world. The short version is when I really got to my mentor and I went back and reviewed his notes, I found out that charisma was not the thing that you actually wanted. It puts people in a trance. It can hold people hostage. It's a gift if utilized properly. But the problem with it is once you go away, they're out of the trance. So whatever you build, they go away, which means you are not really doing your service to be a support or servant leader in that person's life. I'm not even just talking about business. I'm talking about even in, I can be as smooth as I want to be in attracting you. I can be as smooth as I want to be in being able to manipulate my son or whatever the case may be. So the second half of what I'm living my life in this next book, if you will, or this next 50 years, if gifted, that God gives me left on this planet is really about character. And character comes from the word, which is to be able to imprint, like back in the day in the Greek times when you would actually carve or when you would actually chisel. So you have a chisel and a mantle. And once you chisel, it would leave an imprint that would be part of the character of that art. So when you're truly working on character, meaning integrity, communication, holding space of love, appreciation, really learning how to acknowledge, truly learning how to forgive, starting with yourself, and which a lot of women have a problem with doing. That's one of probably the biggest Achilles heel of a woman that I've dealt with in being a woman's coach. And that's why I specialize in women coaching specifically, is because one of the greatest lessons or epiphanies I've gotten in the last 5 years is that you can't see yourself in the frame. Better stated, you could be the greatest cardiologist on the planet, but do you really want to do open heart surgery on yourself? That's just called stupid. So women will ask women about this man when you should really be asking a man about that man. And men should be asking women. The men just want to boast in their ego and see who has the biggest whatever and talk about that in the locker room or in the back room. When if you really want to know what a woman appreciates, then you should go to a woman, because another woman will be able to tell you. Hence why motherhood is so important. And it's the anchor, and why it's called the rib, because biblically the rib is to protect what? The heart. So the man is the heart, the woman is the rib. Together, one cannot exist without the other. It has to fit. And in that conversation, it's amazing how, and you have to find the one that resonates, the one that is congruent. So many women will go to a coach and say, coach me on this. And some women go get another man, but it's the wrong rib. And then you second guess if I'm on the right path. It's like, well, I want to be a painter, and you go and get a coach, and it could be a man, and he coaches you. You don't get the results you want. And then you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't be painting. No, you just had the wrong coach. You have to find, I had to do that with the trainer that I have in the gym. He understands me. He gets me. He understands my lifestyle. He's not putting me on a clock. He's like, look, I understand that your algorithm to be able to peak. Like right after this, I have a workout at 2. Why? Because my body does not peak and wake up until 11, because I'm a nocturnal animal. 9 times out of 10, I don't go to bed before 5. So to find someone who will tell you, like I have a book here from one of my friends, colleagues, mentors called, so I'll pull it all off, The 5 a.m. Club. Robin Sharma is amazing. I love Robin. I love Robin. He signed it. He talked to me. We talked. I went and I'm doing a lot of mentoring, a lot of the people in his programs. But the 5 a.m. club does not work for me. How come? Because I don't wake up. I'm going to bed at 5 a.m. So people are like, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. I'm going to do this now. But you've never gone to bed before 2 a.m. in your life. So you have to have someone who's going to take the time to understand who you are, to serve you, not tell you what's best without knowing what's going to fit into your chemistry, whatever that may be. Answering that question so you can give me another one. What I would tell young men, because it has so many branches on this tree. What I would tell,
hearing you, so.
what I would tell men specifically is work on your character. Fall in love with character. Character is everything. Because character, when you build something, it's a word that is utilized to inspire. I hate when people say, he's so motivational. Motivation is like helium. It blows away as quickly as it comes. You know, I have so many facets to who I am, but in developing the character of that oak tree that has roots that will stand no matter whatever happens, that character will always stand. The ghetto side of me can come out, the intellectual side of me can come out, the charismatic side can come. But if that root is built in character, then it doesn't matter, because people will then openly receive who I am transparently with no judgment, even in the flaws. I tell people all the time in front of rooms in which I spoke in front of thousands, I was 30,000 pastors and bishops down in South America, that I am the most perfect man you'll ever meet. And of course that brings down the crowd, and they'll be like, so that's a huge ego. You think you're perfect. Yes, I am perfect. I am the most perfectly flawed man you will ever meet. And when you can identify your flaws and work on those while building your strengths, then there's not an idea that was never placed on a woman's mind or a man's mind that was not to manifest. It just comes down to how bad do you really want it? Really, how bad do you want it? You know, I see people switch lanes, switch cars, switch ideas, switch opportunities, jump from here to there. And the question I always ask is, before you did that, did you ask yourself in every possible way, did I, one, do everything I could do? Then number two, did I identify myself as a solution to the problem? And then number three, outline what it was you could do to truly change the trajectory of what you planted yourself in the first place. Now, if you got into something you have no control over, then that was stupid right up front. But if it's something that you have some kind of control over and you can change, and you've seen the benefits and the bonuses as to why you got involved or inserted yourself in the equation in the first place, oh my God. You know, I believe in you know, that whole thing of character to men, but even more so to women, rebuilding, or better stated, redesigning. And that is when I do my women's empowerment, what I love doing most is redesigning, because in order to, I call it a construct, in order to develop a 3-story building, a lot of people don't understand underneath that building from a real estate perspective, you have to excavate at least 9 stories underneath it in order for it to build. So it takes me to the conversation of the 3 little pigs, right? Which is also biblical. They have stories that match that, right? And the one that built it on sand and the one that built it here. And then what happens is we get this idea. And when we get an idea, especially women who are born passionate creatures, naturally, I don't care how subdued a woman is, there's passion behind that skin. Now it's a matter of who's going to trigger it. For some, it's really buried deep, but it is what it is. In that, if you can tap into that passion, that insatiable appetite, if you can tap into that dream, and you can bring that out and build behind it the content, because the passion is innate, it's already there. But now you need the content and the context behind it. That 9, see, people see something rise and they say, oh, Byron, he's making this money, or Byron, he's succeeded here, or he's achieved that, or he's doing this. But, and that, I'm just using me as an example. It can be anybody. You see Tiger Woods, Serena, it could be, you know, Trudeau, it could be whoever you see that has done well. You could see even, you know, Air Canada, the president, amazing individual. I mean, what he has been able to do up until this COVID time, amazing in restructuring. I mean, the benefits, it's been rated the #1 airline. That's a boss mentality of caring about the people first. And they see these things rise. They see the transformation of something that has become great, but they didn't look at all of the nights. And it's like, and the best metaphor is we drive by a building and one day we drive by and it's like, oh my God, they put that building up real fast. I never saw that. You drive by there every day. It's like, oh my God, that just popped up. it didn't just pop up. You didn't see the 12 midnight to 6 a.m. crew that was underneath the ground, that was putting in the pipes, that was getting and testing the granite, that was going to City Hall and getting the passes, getting the bills passed and the zoning and everything that had to be excavated underneath that ground. All you saw was the erection of the building go up real fast. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, that's a person's life when they rise to power, to fame, to glory, to great achievement that stands. That is the key thing. It's easy to get money. It's easy to get sex. It's easy to get a man or woman. It's easy to get credit. It's easy to get a title. It's easy to get anything that you want. The key is, can you keep it?
Love this conversation. Let me do a few more shout outs.
Please go right ahead.
Miss Kelly is on. Hello, Kelly. Kristen, hello, Audrey, Julie, Fatne, hello, Thomas is watching, hello, Lena, Elodie, Terry, Kevin, oh, Miss Tammy, a lot of Toronto people on there, love it. Jit, my brother from London, hello. Oh my God, so many amazing people are watching. I would like to wrap up in the next few minutes, Mr. Nelson, but before I let you finish, I want to share what you were saying, because you're bringing me back to when I met you. And I was this passionate woman. I had a lot of dreams, but I didn't know where to go. It's like what you say, I didn't have a destination and I didn't know how to get to that destination. And you instill that belief in myself, first of all, which like is one of the greatest blessings in my life. I will be forever grateful for that. So thank you.
You're so welcome.
And so the conversation about hiring a coach to train, hiring a coach for personal growth, it's so important. It completely transformed my life. Right?
Yes.
And so I'm really inviting people that are watching to do the same. You have great ideas on your own, but you need to be able to expand and share those ideas with the right people for them to help you to your dreams, right? So thank you for sharing that. Before we go, let me hear from, because there's something that you said a few weeks ago about acknowledgement, which I've been doing 2 conversations a day, or if it's not conversations, I'll send a message, a voice message, to acknowledge the people in my life.
Right.
And it's been so amazing.
Magical,
right? Like just me saying it feels good, but the people hearing it, oh my God, right? So what would you like to say? What would you share to the women that are going to be watching, or to take action to live a life they love powerfully?
Identify, and the word is identify, individuals that have a heart that resonate with you. I am that person that lives in a space of such great abundance that if anybody's listening and they wanted my guidance, I would give it to them freely. Coaching, I can't say I would do it freely for past 1 or 2 sessions, but to establish, in my book that's coming out, Finish What You Start, there's a chapter called Collision for Success. Our meeting was a collision for success. You have to set yourself up. First of all, you have to desire it. So you have to put yourself in the space and in the way. You have to almost create a crash course with people that you desire to be around or like or emulate. Now, it's not going to be as easy as you just go up to Byron Nelson or Robin Sharma, a Simon Sinek, or Gary Vee, or a Grant Cardone, Les Brown, a Jim Rohn, a Darren Hardy, and they're just going to be all of a sudden your best friend. But if you're you're never going to have a chance if you do not show your intention, share your intention, show up where they are, go into spaces and places, follow them on Instagram. Mine is very simple, Mr. Byron Nelson on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. I have 2 threads right now, which are amazing. The first one is getting so much rave reviews. Like you said, that thing of acknowledgement. My challenge for Wednesday, I call it Wonderful Wednesday. I do a challenge every day right now. And today's challenge is to It's called acts of kindness. I don't care what it is. You have to do one act of kindness. I don't care if you're in a Starbucks, and I use that lightly based on all that's been going on with Starbucks, but I use that if you have a coffee shop. What's the coffee shop up there?
Tim Hortons.
So Tim Hortons. How powerful it is for you to go and buy a cup of coffee and leave $5 for the next person that gets a cup of coffee. How powerful is it to be able to go and get you some fast food and be in line and leave $10 for the next person who's buying? I mean, to plant a seed of karma is just so amazing as to how it will come back to you tenfold. And when you do it without expectation that I did this for such and such, or now I expect you and you owe me, but do it for someone you don't even know. Today's challenge is so to be able to put yourself in the space of that, and it's called Feed. And anybody can actually get on it. I wish I had the link. They can reach you and I can add them. Or if they have access to my Facebook book, all they had to do is go into my messenger, Byron Nelson, and put Feed, or Mr. Byron Nelson, so I don't have to look through a lot of pages on my page. But Feed stands for Fruitful Education Every Day. And I do it 5 days a week. And so I'm feeding in that, because just like we eat and our food needs nourishment, our mind, our spirit need nourishment. And we all get into this stale space or stagnant space, or, and DM, which stands for usually, direct messaging, stands for diversified money. So for people who want that coaching from an economic perspective, the empowerment side is Feed, the economic side is DM. But what I would say for people that are looking, you have to, I'm going to use Oprah as an example. I can use many extraordinary individuals that have reached and achieved, whether you like them or you don't like them. My mentor, Sir Richard Branson, there's one, they all have more than 12 streams of income coming in. I was blessed enough to find network marketing, blessed enough to be able to buy property and have an amazing real estate, LTD, blessed enough to be able to now do investments with currencies all the way across the board, and now working in treasury bonds, as well as starting my own bank. But I put myself in a collision of success, as well as my two nonprofits, which I put 200 kids through college out of my own pocket. But now I'm working to put 2,000, ultimately 20,000, and teach financial literacy while creating programs. But I put myself in position with people that had already done it. I'm not trying to be that smart. In high school or college, I knew if I sat next to someone who got straight A's and I copied them, I get an A. So you have to find the person that resonates with you, identify with them. And even if they aren't the coach for you, like me, I will not take on everybody. Everybody is not for me, and me, I'm not for everybody. But my heart is for everybody, and I'll help you find who you're looking for. That's why I identify and resonate with you so much, is beyond your passion. Everybody says one thing, but their mouth says it in the moment or in the season. My greatest statement, I'll close out on this because I know you want to wrap up, and just out of respect for the time, but never listen to what a person says, always watch what they do. Never listen to what a person says. When it comes to women's empowerment specifically, they are the greatest creatures on the planet God ever created, even beyond man. That's why he made woman after man, because he had to make a better version to support the mistakes in the first version he made. He had to find someone to be able to match that man, to protect him from himself. And in that, the heart, the compassion, the love, do not ever let somebody make you rethink who you are, is what I would share with women as a closing statement. Don't ever let a man or a circumstance or a thing, a person, man, or thing, a noun in any case, make you rethink how great you were born to be and push you into this secluded hole of depression, or am I good enough? I'm a single mom. There's that. If you're a single mom, you should thank God. Look at the gratitude side. Thank God you don't have that bastard in the house raising your child. That is a blessing. And you were built to be able to do that. If you're a woman that's on the rise in business, you can take over the world quicker than anybody else. Because me as a man, if I approach a woman, I got to worry about if she's thinking, am I going to sleep with her? If I approach a man, I got to worry about if his ego is bigger than mine. A woman can approach another woman with no problem. A woman can approach a man if talk properly with no problem and be able to, and completely close the deal. She is she was the masterpiece that God had in mind when he made man. That would be my closing statement.
I'm speechless. I love it. I love it. And I think it was Pastor T.D. Jakes I was listening a few weeks ago saying, if God made you a single mom, it's because you can handle it, right? You're strong enough, right? So, whoo! I could go on for another hour, but I do want to respect the time. I already went over my 30, 40 minutes. So I so appreciate you, Mr. Nelson. There's not enough words I can tell you how amazing you are.
I love you. I appreciate you. I'm not doing this for a whole lot of people. I'm very selective, and I publicly acknowledge you being a single mom, publicly acknowledge I love your daughter, I love you, publicly acknowledge how extraordinary you are with all the adversity and challenges. You always show up with a smile, with the most extraordinary, amazing attitude. And I am so blessed, as should anybody who crosses your path. And we are just getting started on our masterpiece of what we're creating. To be able to build and shelter and be able to grow and empower. As soon as they lift this border up for Canada, I can't wait to do a women's empowerment up there with you and blow it off the chain again. And it's just, it's already global, as you know. So that's why I wanted to share this on my page, because I wanted to make sure that you had the instant credibility and collaboration with me and my audience, which every person should do. Most people just come on as a guest. It's like, I'm going to be a guest. No, my job is to truly make sure that people hear a voice aside from mine that is amazing and much better than mine when she rises to where God is taking her. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Oh my God, you got tears. Okay, well, I finished with 2 quotes. I always pick 2 quotes, and one of them I was reading because it really made me think of you. She believed she could, so she did. Just like in alignment with who you are and who I am now. And a strong woman stands up for herself. A stronger woman stands up for others. And this is where I am today. This is why I started this movement. We needed more, powerful conversations, inspiring conversations, and you could not said it better. Don't ever let nobody define who you are. And take action today to design yourself, to design who you want to be and really live that life that you love and powerful. So, woo! All right. Join us next week, every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have another incredible guest next week. And thank you all for watching. Let me see. Okay, so Kelly and Tammy with the love you girls, love you ladies. Sebastian, thank you all for watching. Comment in the section, leave comments what you thought about this conversation today, but also what future topics you'd like to hear. So Mr. Nelson, I love you. Thank you so much. Welcome. And I'll see you soon.
Yes. All right, love.
Bye.
Ciao.
If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share with the people that you love and care about. Jessica DSB.